SEO experts claim that Pinterest is a great way to elevate your brand. And since boosting the visibility of your Etsy store can be quite challenging, I thought it'd be a no-brainer. But what has my experience been with Pinterest? Let's talk about it today on Adventures in Pod. Hi, welcome to Adventures in Pod. I'm your host, Ryan McGinnis. I am the owner of S&D Designs, a self-published author on Amazon, and the owner of 217 Press, which is, for now, an Etsy store powered by print on demand. I've created this podcast as a way to document my journey as the owner of an Etsy store powered by print on demand, and kind of share my experiences and my thoughts as I go through this journey of trying to build a business. Speaking of building a business, there's a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of social media networks. Today we're going to talk about Pinterest. Pinterest doesn't get the traffic of, say, a Facebook or an Instagram or even a YouTube, but Pinterest is also not a social network as much as it is a search engine. And it has a loyal following when it comes to shoppers looking to buy products. So everything I've read, all my research said that Pinterest is a valuable tool for your store. And also, as I mentioned, I own a web design studio. So during my web design, I do go to some webinars, watch some webinars, and several recently have mentioned Pinterest prominently as a great driver of SEO, and they think it's a good diamond in the rough. So, when I finally got around to launching 217 Press a couple months ago, I decided I would incorporate Pinterest into my marketing. As a matter of fact, when I first started, to tell you guys truthfully, I really only intended 217 Press to have a Pinterest page. That's all I was going to do. I was going to use Pinterest to market it and just see if it could drive enough traffic and enough interested shoppers to make my store happen. Now, since then, I've backtracked. Since then, I've been like, yeah, let's do other stuff. Let's do a Facebook page. Let's do an Instagram page. Heck, let's do a podcast to document our findings and also to help raise the brand. So here I am. But I didn't do it because I didn't think Pinterest was working. I didn't know. I just figured I would try other stuff as well. And so I've gotten on Pinterest. I did my research as far as what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to set up posts, how you're supposed to use keywords, how you're supposed to use hashtags, and I put some of my SEO knowledge, from my day job in it. And so I set up my Pinterest, and I'm like, cool, let's do it. I even got this app, which I won't mention because I don't think it's the best app in the world, but it's a scheduling app that had a special during Christmas, and I signed up for it. And I don't think it's the best app in the world, but I got it lifetime for like $40. So who's complaining? Cut corners where you can, save a few pennies where you can, right? Am I right as a business owner? I mean, you guys tell me. But anyway, I got on Pinterest, and if you haven't been on Pinterest, Pinterest is a thing. You set up boards and you pin stuff to those boards, and it can be videos, it can be pictures. But like every good SEO thing, you have to have your keywords, and you have to have a catchy headline to catch people's attention. You have to have a picture. That's essential. You can't, if you're on Pinterest not doing pictures, then get the hell off. That's not your thing. But you add your pictures, you have your headlines, you do your keywords, your explanations. You can put links to your items in your store, and in that aspect, it makes for a really good, easy way to advertise products and kind of be like, hey, this is our new shirt. Hey, look at this new line of stuff we've got out. And you do boards. And I know that might seem weird to you guys. It's like, like you're literally like pinning stuff on a bulletin board. That's the whole point of Pinterest. But you make boards. In my case, I have boards for the different themes that I have for my t-shirts and novelties. I have like the funny board, I have human rights board, I have weather and science board, motivational, all that kind of stuff. for all my different shirts. Bookish is a popular one. And so I set about and I started doing it, and I would schedule posts, and I would post a lot of posts on Pinterest, and I still do. I get on my scheduling app and I'll schedule like, oh God, I swear to God, like 2 weeks worth of I'll do 2 a day for like a 2 week span. And that's how I do it. Because I mean, honestly, that's the other thing. If any of you guys are having trouble, I don't know if anybody watching this podcast or listening to the podcast has trouble with marketing, with finding the time for marketing and doing your stuff. But I suggest doing like I do and just scheduling everything. And you go in, you spend an hour scheduling all these posts, scheduling out like 2 or 3 weeks worth of posts, and then you just let it run, and then you catch up with it and you get on with your life. And maybe you check into it if it's something like Facebook or TikTok where you're going to have comments, you check back. But as far as, like Pinterest goes, it's pretty much set it and forget it, just do it and come back and check the analytics. And I will tell you guys, I have been pleasantly surprised. My Pinterest has grown quite well since I set it up and I started. There was about a 2 or 3 week period. So there was a 3 week period where for 1 week we had family in town, and so that'll take you away from the desk. And then the next week, when I meant to go back to work, I got a respiratory infection, and it got bad, and I was honestly sick for a couple weeks. If you guys watch this podcast, you'll see episodes. I don't know, there's a few episodes back where I'm really hoarse and I'm having trouble with my voice, and it's because I was sick and I was still trying to do podcasts. Because dedication, right, devotion. But yeah, no, except for that 3 week period, I've been posting regularly, and Pinterest is one of those things, like you put up a bunch of pins and you go back and check them like a day later, and they'll have gotten like 1 or 2 or 3 impressions, and you're like, oh, this isn't shit. But then you go back in like a week, and suddenly you've got like 1,200 impressions, and I've had a couple pins go sort of not really viral, but they've done hundreds of views, and so my traffic is picking up, my engagement is picking up, and I've had a few clicks to the products. It's like anything else. You have impressions up here, and then you have, engagement, and then you have it keeps going down, and then you finally get down to people who actually left the platform and clicked over to your store, and it's like way less than this number. This is like the number of people that saw your stuff, the number of people that saved your stuff, it's the number of people, etc. You get it. It's a funnel. And so it has been driving some people down that funnel. Not as much as I want, but I do see growth. I see a lot of growth as the weeks go by, and I keep posting enough that I keep doing it. It's a source of traffic, so hopefully it's a source of traffic that will eventually convert into some sales. I don't think it has yet, but it is far. But I am getting traffic from it, and I am getting brand recognition. I'm building up the brand, and anybody that sells online will tell you that 80% of the game is trust. Brand familiarity. You want people to be familiar with your brand. You want them to see your shirts or see your logo or whatever and be like, oh yeah, I know those guys. I'll click on them. They're like an old friend. I laugh at their post all the time, and so you click on it. So I do think that right now I think it's helped me grow my branding. And as far as, do I give Pinterest a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Right now I give Pinterest because it's building a lot of traffic. Relatively few people go all the way through the funnel and click through to the page yet, but that does seem to be growing, and I do know these things take time. So I'm pleasantly surprised by the traffic. Haven't seen much crossover yet. So I'll give it an for now. And because I did go through, I'll tell you guys right here at the end, I have been going through trying to streamline processes as much as possible, because that's what we do as business owners. We try to find the simplest way. We try to find that fine line between handling all the stuff for business and keeping our sanity. And sometimes I fall on the wrong side of that line. But right now, I think for now, based on the data and the numbers, Pinterest will stay in my toolbox, and I'll keep using it. And maybe I'll, in a few episodes down the road, I'll let you guys know how it's developing then. But for right now, I think it's definitely, if you have products to sell, it is definitely a way to drive interest and drive branding, drive your brand and get it out there in front of people. That's my opinion. It hasn't given me much in the way of sales yet, but it is doing stuff for my brand and is helping people know who I am. So there is something to be said for that. And that will help. All of that helps. All the marketing is all the different things, all the branding, and it all like works together to eventually get you sales. But that's my advice on it. My advice is give it a shot, especially if you have products to sell. Do your research and find out how to do it and do it right. And then let me know what your experience is like. Let me know in the comments, because that's what this is all about. This isn't me telling you how to do something. This is me sharing my experiences with you, because I am not an expert on print on demand. I am not an expert on Etsy. I'm just out here trying to do my thing like the rest of you guys. So let's all work together. Let me know in the comments if you've used Pinterest and what your impressions of it were. But this is the episode. That's the whole thing. As I'm not doing a final verdict on it yet. Pinterest for now stays in the toolbox. I'll let you know down the line whether we keep it. But right now it seems to be building a good funnel, if a slow funnel. But that's the episode. If you could give me a like or a subscribe, click the notification bell so you'll be notified when we have new episodes, and maybe share it with your friends so we can all get together on this journey. But anyway, my name's Ryan McGinnis. I appreciate you guys so much as always, and we'll see you next time on Adventures in Pod.